Hello, and welcome to a Thursday installment of Fridays with Brandon. Now, today we are we have a viewer request saying that they want us to read and analyze a poem called "The Killers That Run the Other Countries" by Leonard Cohen. So I shall start with the reading of it. The Killers That Run the Other Country by Leonard Cohen. The killers that run the other countries are trying to get us to overthrow the killers that run our own. I, for one, prefer the rule of our native killers. I am convinced the foreign killer will kill more of us than the old familiar killer does. Frankly, I don't believe anyone out there really wants us to solve our social problems. I base this all on how I feel about the man next door. I just hope he doesn't get any uglier. Therefore, I am a patriot. I don't like to see a burning flag because it excites the killers on either side to unfortunate excess which goes on gaily, quite unchecked until everyone is dead. That's a very amazing poem. And now, to discuss the vocabulary of the poem, we have we have a man on the line to discuss the vocabulary of the poetry.
Well, the vocab isn't that complicated. There ain't need to define no words.
Are you sure?
Of course I'm sure. I may not have gone to college, but I'm pretty sure I know my words.
Okay. How about we talk to someone else? I see on the line that there is a nerd willing to talk to us about the speaker of this poem. Nerd? Hello? Nerd? Nerd, are you there?
I'm not, but no, I'm not a nerd.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
The speaker of this poem is someone that has immense pride for their country, and they hate. They have a lot. They love their country and have a lot of pride for their country. This is someone that is living like let's say they're like an American and they're living in America, like deep in America, like Texas, and they have this tremendous pride for their country. They hate anything unpatriotic, like burning, like the burning of a flag. You know, just hate that. Because they have this tremendous pride for their country. This is the type of person that you would see riding around on a pickup truck with an American flag. They just love their country and they hate everything else.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. And let's move on. I shall be discussing the poem, the tone of this poem. The In this poem, the author has a great amount of hate for the rulers of other countries while having tremendous pride for the rulers of his country. He speaks of the rulers of the other countries like they're bad and terrible people, while praising his ruler. He doesn't necessarily like his ruler, but he prefers his ruler over the other rulers because his ruler is willing to protect him and help him solve his social problems, while the other rulers and the other countries don't care about him. So he just cares about them more. He feels that his rulers won't hurt him as much as the other rulers. That's why he prefers his rulers, and that's why he has this love-hate tone for them. He doesn't like them, but at the same time, he prefers them over the other rulers. Beyond the tone of loving, of pride for his own country and his rulers and hate for the other rulers, there is a tone that goes throughout this entire poem. There's a very, very serious tone that goes throughout this entire poem. He is very serious about this topic. He really, really cares, and you can tell that he really, really cares from the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines where he strongly says, "I don't like to see a burning flag because it excites the killers on either side to unfortunate excess which goes on gaily, quite unchecked, until everyone is dead." It's a very serious thing. So in throughout the entire poem, he has his tone, but here in these 8 lines, you can really notice that he's very very serious about this topic. That he doesn't want to. He wants pride in his country. He wants people to be patriotic because without it, things like burning of a flag will cause war on either side. It could excite the other killers. It could cause war on either side because if there's a burning flag and our rulers see it, then we might think that it's a hate crime from another country and they might go to war. Or it could excite the other ruler because they hate us and they would love seeing our flag burning down. So he's very serious about this pride and love for your country. And not only that, I feel that there's a slight tone change in this poem. It goes from so the serious tone is here, it's there throughout the entire poem, but in the first, in the first, in the first stanza, the first 5 lines, I feel is a little bit more serious than throughout the rest, because it starts off just saying, the killers that run the other countries are trying to get us to overthrow the killers that run our own. That's pretty serious. And then after that first 5 lines, this tone of patriotism and pride kind of starts building and building and building until the very end, where it's kind of like it's really serious, but at the same time he's very very patriotic about his country. Through each line, it gets more and more patriotic. There you can sense that he has more pride for his country, about the things that he says that his country does for him that the other countries don't do. And through each thing that he says, you could tell that there is more and more and more, like the sense of patriotism in his tone, which is really cool because it's kind of like when you're listening to a symphony and there's like a crescendo building up the sound, like getting louder and louder and louder. That's the patriotism is getting louder and stronger through as the poem progresses. That's really cool. And that's all we have for the tone. Let's move on to the figurative language. I have a friend here willing to meet us. We'll cut to commercial, and when we come back, we'll discuss the figurative language. Thank you. In this poem, the author or narrator compares rulers of a country to killers, right? So rulers of our country, rulers of his country, rulers of another country. He compares them to killers. And he doesn't necessarily mean they are killers like murderers or criminals or like bad people. But he in a way he does mean that they are bad people. They do bad things and people get hurt from the things they do. But they aren't murderers like they aren't killers like murderers or criminals. They're killers that kill people indirectly. And they kill people through things like government policy or judicial enforcement or war, right? The ruler would declare war with another country, and then because they declare war, people from that country die and people from their own country die. But the ruler didn't go out and kill someone. They indirectly killed someone. So that's what the author is trying to say about rulers. That rulers, using this extended metaphor throughout the novel that compares rulers to killers, he's calling rulers killers. He's directly saying that rulers are killers, that they are not good people, they hurt people and they kill people. But he doesn't hate them. He prefers his ruler. In the novel he says that he would prefer his ruler over the other ruler. He would prefer the native killer over the foreign killer, because the native killer or ruler protects him and cares for his social problems, whereas the foreign killer or ruler doesn't. And there is another metaphor in this poem, the man next door. The man next door is a metaphor for another country, a foreign country. So the narrator, his neighbor, is the foreign country. He is the homeland. So and he says that he bases all of his judgments on how he feels about the man next door, his neighbor. So what he's saying is he doesn't like his neighbor. He knows that that the other countries don't care for him because he doesn't care for the other countries. Same as how his neighbor doesn't care about his problems, he doesn't care about his neighbor's problems. So the neighbor is a metaphor. The man next door is a metaphor for the other countries. The man next door doesn't care about his problems. The other countries don't care about his country's problems. They don't care about the other country's problems. He doesn't care about the man next door's problems. And these two metaphors are really interesting because he's calling his ruler and the other rulers killers. They kill people, they hurt people. And not only do they kill people, they hurt people, neither ruler cares about the other ruler's country or the other ruler's people. And if you really think about it, that would make both of them, that is another way that they are killers. If you really think about it, that is another way that they are killers. They don't care about helping the other country, so they can't support the other country, and let's say that country is really poor. They can't support the other country, so that country their people start dying. Or that country doesn't care about our country may be the poor one in this situation, and we start dying. So in that respect, the rulers are also killers. Because the rulers don't care about the other country, and that ruler doesn't care about our country, they are both killers because they don't care about each other. They don't care about helping the other country, and the other country doesn't care about helping this country. And that's about it for the figure of language in this poem. It's just a really simple extended metaphor comparing rulers to killers, and with another another little metaphor that compares the man next door to the other countries. Thank you. And that concludes this Sunday episode of Mondays with Tuesday. The Pope is here. Ladies and gentlemen, I have word that the Pope is in the building and he wants me to do an interview with him. And okay, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab the Pope real quick. Man's twin brother, and I'm here to, because he doesn't let me talk. He never lets me talk to these things, but I'm the real star of the show. He just hides me under the table, and I feed him the information, but he's gone for now. So I'm here to discuss the meaning of this poem. Let's see. Yeah, pulled up. I'm here to discuss the meaning of this poem. Right. The author tells us that we should love our country. That's the meaning of this poem. It's simple poem about patriotism and pride and love for your country. He tells us to love your country because your country will protect you. Your country will protect you from foreign invaders. Your country will protect you from war. Your country will protect you from anything. And not only will they protect you and try to keep you safe, your country will try to solve your social problems. The other countries, the other rulers, they won't try to protect you. They won't try to solve your problems. Only your own country will try to protect you and solve your problems. So, the author tells us, love your country. Love where you live. Love your rulers, because they protect you and they care about you. And they try to solve your problems. And be proud of where you live. You know? Love your country, be proud of where you live, because it's the only place that cares about you. No one else out there does. Thank you. And have a nice night. And tune in for the next episode of Fridays with Brandon.